Hey guys, this is Aisha Shelton.
And this is Kevin Shelton.
Welcome back to Marriage and Real Estate.
Welcome back. So, we have been absolutely taken aback and overwhelmed by all the great positive feedback we've gotten on our new video format. And so much so that we wanted to compile kind of a best of clips of all the cool moments that we've had since we've been recording video.
Yep.
And we look forward to getting you guys feedback on that. And we will be back with a brand new episode next week and lots of fun surprises and goodies.
Stay tuned.
Awesome. Marriage and Real Estate. We out. My shirt is wrinkled. I'm just going to put it out there.
Look, so before we started filming, I was like, "Oh, your shirt is wrinkled. I'm gonna have to take better care of my husband."
The Marriage and Real Estate shirts are wash ready. You can wash them
and wear them,
and then they'll be wrinkled.
ready to be worn wrinkled. Get your merch on the website.
See, she wants to look all professional. I just wear t-shirts, so
You look really good in t-shirts.
Oh, do I? Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some of them dad bod t-shirts. You seen them dad bod t-shirts? That's my solution to not working out. They're like heavy weighted t-shirts that like make you look like you got a body.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, get one. I'd like to see it.
Facebook. I'm gonna get it.
Oh, don't do it.
Why?
Y'all, Kevin always getting sold on stuff that's on, I was just about to say the bad word. Kevin's always getting sold on stuff that's on Instagram and Facebook.
I like sales.
He brought me some
I'm
shoes.
salesman.
I was like, oh, that's nice. Where'd that come from? He was like, Instagram. So Instagram ads work. If you have a product, please put it on your Instagram ads because Kevin is buying it.
But see, I get you stuff all the time. I guess you don't want this David Yurman bracelet.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, look at your face.
That's different. That's not on Instagram.
You don't know that.
David Yurman's
You
not
don't know what my
advertising on
cookies
Instagram.
look like.
That's true. Okay, today we would like to reintroduce ourselves. We have been on the podcast via video.
Over 30 episodes now.
Over 30 episodes, but this is new to
Thanks
video.
to
Stop cutting me off, Kevin.
All right,
Jesus Christ. Stop cutting me. Thank you. Okay, now let me just get one sentence out, then you jump in afterwards. That's how communication works. Me, then you. Me, then you. Okay, and don't be quiet when I'm done because I know that's what you're going to do. So because we're on video more, we would like to reintroduce ourselves as the Marriage and Real Estate team. And where we were, kind of some of the experiences that we've experienced, and honestly, how God has blessed us and where we are now.
Yeah.
See?
All that. That's going to piss you off.
Do right, Kevin.
All right, I'm sorry. No. We thankfully now are over 30 episodes thanks to the Creators Collective Podcast Network.
What's up?
So gang.
Is this
What is that?
That's gang gang.
Is that the sign? Did they give you a sign?
The Creators gang gang.
They
It's
jumped us in?
H-Town.
Is that H-Town?
Yeah. Is this H-Town?
Is it backwards like that? Okay.
You know what?
I'm
are we
whack.
here for?
I don't do all that.
What are we here? What are we talking about today?
We're reintroducing ourselves.
We're introducing ourselves.
No, I'm a regular ass guy. I don't do all that.
So let's
Start. Where are we starting from? Are we starting from how we met? How we got in real estate?
Yeah, because we're marriage and real estate. We're marriage and real estate. So let's talk about how we got married and how we got in real estate.
Okay. How we got married though?
How we tell the story, baby.
Well, you tell a story of how we met, and then I'll tell a story about like the marriage and stuff because I
Okay.
think that financially is valuable.
Okay. So I feel like I tell the story the best. That's why he
I
always
agree.
gives me carte blanche to tell the story, right? So Kevin and I met through a mutual friend at her birthday brunch. It was very casual at her house. And I knew, shout out to Chelsea, I knew Chelsea from her kids went to the daycare center that I was the assistant director of. And Kevin knew Chelsea because she was a project manager at
MD Anderson.
MD Anderson, right? And so Kevin was a project manager with another company. Anyway, both of us had flaked out on Chelsea on several occasions.
Now you saying this on a whole last
I
video
know.
recording.
I mean, she knows the story. She knows the
true.
story.
That's true.
Both of us had flaked out on Chelsea on many occasions. She would always invite us to stuff. And I mean, I'd show up sometimes, but I didn't make all of the invitations. And I feel like that was the same case for Kevin.
True.
But before Kevin and I met at Chelsea's house, before we crossed paths, Kevin was married. and I was in a long-term relationship. And so had I met Kevin when he was with his wife, like I met Chelsea, met Kevin when he had a wife at Chelsea's functions, I would not have been interested in him at that time or in the future. Let me be clear.
Explain why, though.
Because you were with someone.
Yeah, and you're generally not interested in people
I don't, right?
who are with
So
somebody.
if I see a handsome guy,
don't just make it sound like, you wasn't checking for me.
I wouldn't have been checking for you. If I see a handsome guy and then I realize that he has a girlfriend or a wife or whatever, that's it for me, right? I'm not that kind of chick like, oh, he fine. I want to see how I can. Nah, you got a husband, you got a wife, you got a girlfriend. You're not my type.
And these are the facets.
Facets.
Hi.
Introduce yourselves for the people, please.
I'm Ashley Fassett.
I'm the husband.
I'm a husband.
I'm a husband. I'm
He
Greg
don't have
Fassett.
no name, but he swang
I
big
go by
thanks.
The husband. Yeah, I'm Greg Fassett.
Greg Fassett. Keep it cool today.
Why?
Because we have company.
These are
Please.
friends, though.
Chill out.
All right, fine. Fine. I'm going to be tame because Aisha's my boss.
So we have friends today, and that's fun.
You're so
Thank you
stiff. You
for
gotta relax.
inviting us.
You are welcome. And I think we're just gonna freestyle today, right?
Yeah, we're just gonna talk.
That's life, ain't
It is.
it?
We are two couples that are married.
Mm-hmm. Aisha get in Hollywood, man.
do
You
real
like
estate
stiff.
and
You look like a
stuff.
news reporter. You gotta relax.
That's
Relax
that
all
Blake.
your
If you
muscles.
look at the previous podcast, I was relaxed and I look like this, like a couch potato. So I'm trying to
Gotcha. Hold on, let me.
elongate my back.
Mhm.
You look so handsome over there.
Oh, now I look at while I hold my breath.
No,
Anyway.
we
What's
have
up,
friends.
Facets?
We have friends.
Not
We have
much.
friends. We're talking
Yes.
about we are married. We do real estate and stuff.
And stuff.
And stuff. And stuff. And so today we'll talk about marriage and real estate and stuff.
And
It
stuff.
works.
All right, cool.
Kevin,
So I wrote some random stuff for us to talk about. But first thing I wanted to talk about is collective couple economics. So that's one of the things that us four particularly have been focusing on for at least the last year or so. So working together to see how we can not only pool resources, but pull energy and effort to build wealth for both our families at the same time. And I think that's a super hot topic right now. Collective consciousness, collective fundraising, collective buying the block and all that good jazz. So, but yeah, so I guess let's talk about how we kind of came together to think about what we wanted to do and then how other couples maybe can do the same. Greg, kick it off.
Sure. I think just looking at economics in and of itself, we think about the advancement of iron sharpening iron. So that's something that you and I really connected on, which is, hey, how do I take some of the knowledge and experience that I have, implement it, and then share it, right, with the community at large, especially from a friendship standpoint when you get to know people. And then vice versa. How do I be super open and then seeking to learn some things that can help me grow? And I think that's something that's pivotal for us in the Black community is we have to be open and willing, and then we have to take some of that information and put it into action.
So tell the people about some of the things you do professionally and then on the side.
Sure. So professionally, I am an executive in a Fortune 500 company. So been doing that for about 9 years. Employed entrepreneur is how I like to consider it. But separate and apart from that, pre-corporate America, I was an NFL athlete for about 4 years, Super Bowl champion, a couple of cool things, right? So definitely appreciate some of the things that I learned in that industry. And I take a lot of that into the entrepreneurship space as well as the corporate America piece. And then lastly, outside of the real estate part that you hit on, investor. So stock market, definitely a great opportunity when you think about building long-term wealth.
If you follow Greg, he drops a lot of jewels on IG lives and stuff about the stock market. He's been killing the stock market game. And then Mrs. Fassett, please tell the people about yourself.
Oh, where do I start?
She's
A mother of
amazing.
3.
Amazing.
Thank you. Mother of 3 and
mother of 3.5.
Yeah.
Is what she really is right.
basically. So I pretty much run my household just like a corporation. So that's one, top and foremost. And then I cosmetology for 10 plus years. I owned my own salon, and I still kind of do clients here and there. I'm also a real estate agent, and yeah, and then I do decor
More
and
than just
interior.
decor.
Interior design extraordinaire.
Man.
Extraordinaire.
That is
She chop it
really
up, she stage it out, she
That's
make it pretty, she make it work. So
that's my passion for real. It's like not working, but working.
Absolutely.
wealth building through insurance. Now, let me give a disclaimer
Please
because
do.
Aisha's gonna be like all extra on this. We're not insurance agents, CPAs, attorneys. We don't know nothing. We don't really know nothing about no insurance.
As a matter
other
of
than
fact,
the stuff that we do. That's
the
it.
reason why this is a topic of conversation is because we saw a clip on Instagram.
Of Candy, we'll have to put the if we could put the video show notes link to the clip. It was Candy Burris on
another podcast.
It was on
I
Earn
don't.
Your Leisure.
Was it?
It was on the Earn Your Leisure.
Oh, okay.
One of their
Earn Your Leisure.
subsidiary
Okay.
podcasts.
Okay, cool.
But anyway, she was talking about how she uses whole life insurance to invest her money and kind of solidify her retirement, and she's been doing that since her 20s. So that was pretty cool. So you want to talk about the clip? Okay, so we're sitting here with Sukana Regeni.
Hi, guys.
Did I get it right?
You got
You
it
did it.
perfectly well.
Okay, good. All right, that works.
We don't get an introduction or nothing. You just had to get that name right.
I did, or else it
you
would have
just
I
jumped
would have
in
botched
like-
it. All right, now give the full introduction.
Who, me?
Yeah, you introduced her into my life, so please
I did. And
talk about how it got started.
okay.
How we met.
How did we meet you? First we should talk about, we don't even know what you do, but we're gonna talk about how
Yeah, we're gonna jump into it.
how we met you. So if my memory serves me correctly, and
It doesn't.
y'all know it doesn't, I'm going to tell a very short version of it. A friend of ours recommended her. She had a great experience. And
Yes. Okay, I remember now.
Okay, go.
Wasn't this Fern?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So, good friend of ours had an amazing experience and recommended to Aisha. And then Aisha raved about, and let's talk about what we're talking about, getting a Chi Man reading.
Yeah, it was a Chiban and Batsi reading, which is
Chiban
like
and
Chinese metaphysics, Chinese astrology.
There we go.
There you go.
So, what that sounded like to me when I initially heard it was like tarot card devil worship stuff. And I was like, I ain't doing all that. And then Aisha was like, no, it's really great. You should do
No,
it.
Kevin said he wouldn't do it, and I said, fine, I'll do it. Because remember, initially it was the two of us, and I said, fine, I'll do it, and if I like it, I'll tell you how my experience goes.
I
And
just always think about Skeleton Key, the movie with what's the name's daughter?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's about voodoo and stuff. in New
Yeah,
Orleans.
yeah, and fortune telling and all that kind of jazz. It's kind of scary. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I don't, but this isn't like fortune.
No,
telling.
not at all.
Not at
That's
all.
that's what's so great about it. But that is what people's initial response is, right? They're like, "Oh, you're going to tell me when I'm going to die," and I'm like, "No, I really won't. I really don't know. Not that powerful or psychic."
So we'll let you tell us what it is. But anyway, Kevin was a skeptic. I was excited when I heard Fern talk about it, and then I wanted to do it, and she recommended it. She highly recommended that I do it. And then Kevin was a skeptic, and I said, well, just let me do it, and I'll share my results. And he was excited about what I shared, and he was like, okay, do me.
Yeah. And then I had an amazing conversation with you, and I get all the feels. So I was
I'm
like,
so glad.
oh, we got to have you on the podcast. And then you agreed. So, yay.
Yeah, no, I'm so happy to be here, guys. This is very flattering, very humbling, flattering.
Oh, humbling.
And
we are super, super ain't nobody. So please.
No, but seriously, have you seen this podcast? It's like total legit.
All
It's
right,
amazing.
Well, I'll take it. I'm going to take it. LP, you mark that. You edit that. You put that in a loop.
Okay. Put
So-
that on a clip.
If you could give the people an overview of your amazing, I was going to say powers, but
Wow. Don't call it powers.
don't call it powers.
I don't like it.
I don't know what you call it. Amazing
Ability.
in addition to your other businesses, and just kind of give them an overview of your amazingness.
Sure. So I am a serial entrepreneur, I think, by nature. But a few years ago, I actually had a Batsy and Sheeman reading myself by some woman in Dubai. And I was referred by a friend as well, who was like, Sukaina, this changed my life. And you do get that same vibe. You're like, I don't want someone to read my fortune. I'm a smart, intelligent person. I got my shit down. I don't really need this. And then you're just, you go through life. Like the ebbs and flows happen. And sometimes you're in a bit of a valley and you're like, I don't know. I just feel lost. I feel like something's missing. I feel like I'm maybe not on the right path. I'm not sure. And so for me, I decided to go ahead and get that reading. And I was like, God, I wish I did this years ago. And a big part of the reason for that was because Batsy and Sheeman is very much like giving you a blueprint. It's like a blueprint, your manual of what you are when you're born. So it tells you your strengths, your weaknesses, your hidden talents. It tells you what your personality is like in relationships, what you're like in real life with your friends, what you're like just innately. And I think once we can actually understand that, we can use that information then to play our blueprint out or our cards. It'd be like someone giving you your cards and be like, they're face up. Now it's your turn to play them. So I think it's just really cool. And I think we spend our lives going through experiences to really figure ourselves out, right? Like that's why we go through stuff, because we're like, oh, let me try this. No, I'm not really good at that. Oh, let me try that. And we kind of dabble and we spend our lives figuring out. But if we could figure out what we're good at earlier, I mean, especially in the world we live in today, we like to maximize life and time, and we're all ambitious go-getters. We don't want to waste time trying to figure stuff out. So I loved it from that aspect, right? Because I'm very type A. I'm someone who is fast moving.
We're very similar.
Yeah. And I want the information. I want to do it. And then I want to move on. And that's what I loved about it. So I got my reading, started going down more of a spiritual journey. And then from there, I just kind of rabbit holed during COVID. I was like, what is this stuff? Let me learn more. And so I found this guy in Malaysia who's apparently the master teacher. And there was a random $500 3-day workshop.
Oh, man.
And I was like, should I take it? Should I not? Am I dabbling in more crap? I mean, because I feel like I'm all over the place. And so I actually screenshotted it and sent it to that woman who did my Batsy reading. And I was like, hey, I found this. And I don't what do you think? And she's like, that's my mentor. That's who I trained under for 10 years. How did you find him? And I'm like, it was meant to be. So she's like, do it. I have a lot of healing in my chart. That's kind of, I'm all about inspiring people, influencing people, educating people, all of that fun stuff. And so she's like, it might be right up your alley. So try it. If you like it, great. If you don't, you lost $500. And she's like, usually his classes are $10,000 plus. And I was like,
really?
Okay, cool. Interesting. So I did the 3-day class, and it was Singapore time, which by the way, guys, was 11 o'clock
PM. So you had
PM.
to go.
No, I luckily it was during COVID, so he was doing it online. Others I would have had to go. So that's the other divine
And that's why it wasn't $10,000.
Yeah, and it was he was I think teasing people with this new online forum that he was starting, right? And so I did the 3 days, and I was like, this is amazing. But it was 12 p.m. or 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. our time. I was up 3 nights straight. And I was obsessed with it. So of course I signed up for the next class, which was far more expensive. And then the next class, and then the next class. So here I was now spending multiple days a week up at weird Malaysia, Singapore times. And then the pre-recorded classes I could do whenever. But yeah, I mean, I did the classes, and then slowly I was like, let me start doing my friends' charts. That's how it started. And I would do these readings for my friends, and then that led to someone else, and lo and behold, here I am. And I get booked up quite a bit now, which is awesome. But I also use this now as part of my personal development coaching and my business coaching, because I feel it is a blueprint for people. Let's use that as a foundation, and then we can build on that business wise or personal life wise or whatever. So it's actually worked really well as a really good foundation. So, I know it sounds hokey pokey sometimes, but I really do think it's a great foundation.
Crazy, because at a point we were even Airbnb in our guest room in our house. That's how we got started. That was our first unit.
Was it?
Uh-huh.
That was a tragedy too.
Oh, so sideline story.
Oh
Before we
God.
close out, sideline story. Y'all gonna love this. So complete sideline story.
Are you gonna love it?
So of course, our first unit was our guest room. We get a last minute booking, right? And this is just a quick little story. So last minute booking, young girl with a brother, which turned out to be her son, right? Coming in town from San Francisco on vacation. Books, says, hey, can I check in immediately? Which is always a red flag, super, super red flag. So we're like, we out to dinner. We're like, all right, cool. They check in at 9 o'clock. This girl checked in, and it turned out to be her son, who was autistic, but he wasn't I don't know what the
I think she
terms are.
said that it was her son, and it actually was her brother because she was much younger.
Okay, then I had that reversed.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, he was like violently autistic. He was very active, right? How do you describe that? Is that violently autistic?
I don't know if there's a such thing as.
Okay.
Can we backtrack?
They had no car. Well, look, they had no car, no means. What we found out, what we later found out is they came into town, had no way of paying for anything they had. She said she lost their wallet, but I think their family like abandoned them. Well, the Uber driver is the one who actually booked the room on his credit card, so they had no way of paying for damages or anything like that. She gets dropped off by the same Uber driver at our house.
No, it was way more intricate. The girl got dropped off at our house by an Uber driver.
Okay.
And she had lots of needs and challenges, her and her brother. They had lots of needs and challenges that we just simply couldn't meet. And so we had to kick them out. I mean, she literally texted me and was like, "Can I take her to Walmart?" Ma'am, no, I cannot take you to Walmart. And we've had guests before.
Yeah, and our guest room was set up for like professionals.
It was.
So you come in, you come out, you go to work, you leave, right? It wasn't a full house.
We had travel nurses in our guest room. We had travel
business professionals
young that were in our guest room. So we did have a young couple. That was kind of disgusting. We had young couples, but it was very much independent. You came in, you did your business, you left.
Because it's just a room and a bathroom. You didn't get, like, we had a microwave and a Keurig, but you didn't get any, like, refrigerator or stove or anything like that.
Yeah. So
she needed help.
So she was like, you know, can I get a ride to Walmart? I think she may have even asked for some food, and I was like, okay, this is it, lady. You got to go. So I had to go down and tell her like, hey, this isn't working out. You need to leave.
Before that, when it escalated, before we asked her to leave.
Okay, so
go ahead.
She didn't have any like obligation to tell us that her brother or whomever he was had a mental disability. She didn't have any obligation to tell us that. However, we didn't know that, and we stayed in a 2-story home, and our guests stay on the bottom. And he kept coming up the stairs, and we made it very clear that guests don't come upstairs because that's where we live. And so he kept coming up the stairs, and she would say, you would hear him saying, "Hungry."
No.
Or
you're being real PC.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, go ahead.
He was beating on the walls and screaming downstairs. It was just odd. Now, mind you, we had no idea that he had a
brand
disability.
new baby.
We did have a brand new baby.
And this guy he was walking, and he wasn't a guy. He was he was maybe
kid.
like 10.
Yeah, he was.
But he beat on the walls, "Hungry, I'm hungry," and he'd stump up the stairs, and we had a big baby gate. He kept making it to the baby gate, stumping up the stairs, "Hungry,
and she would
hungry."
run upstairs, and this is us hearing it. We didn't see it. She would run upstairs, and she would come and get him and bring him back down.
Usher into the room. So then in the room we hear,
He's beating and screaming.
He's beating on the wall and screaming. We had an alarm clock in the room. He completely dismantled the alarm clock.
Let me get there.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me get there. So we were like, okay, this is uncomfortable, and we have to ask her to leave because we did have a brand new baby.
Yeah.
We had just had a baby, and so I go down and tell her like, hey, you know, sorry, but this really isn't working out. And that's when the story begins to unfold. So she comes into town on an airplane, her and her brother, and somebody was supposed to pick her up from her family, but they never came to pick her up. So she gets in an Uber. I don't know where she's going in this Uber, but somehow the Uber driver takes her and the brother to his house.
Well, somebody else had booked the Uber. So when she got in the Uber, she let him know, "I can't pay for anything," told him the story. He takes them to his house.
Whatever, I don't remember how that went down, but the Uber driver takes him to his house. Okay, that's a red flag. Takes him to his house. I guess he gets fed up with the situation, books her Airbnb with us, and drops her off at the house. So I'm telling her like, yeah, you gotta go. And she's giving me this whole sob story. She's like, I don't have anywhere to go. My family didn't pick me up. I don't have any friends. And I was like, that's really unfortunate, but you got to go, boo. Like, you can't stay here. So we called the guy who made the reservation and was like, yo, she's gotta go. I'm not sure where y'all are gonna go. He was like, that's when I found out that he picked her up from the airport and took her home. It was too much. He basically agreed to come back and pick her up.
And then Aisha asked her, she said, do you have any friends? We called around, we called our other friends who maybe had separate units to host her or whatever. Like we tried to find her a safe space to land, and it was a Sunday night. It wasn't working. So we said, do you have any friends in town? Because she was supposed to be a starting student at U of H or something else she had told us.
I don't know, it was all a bunch
She
of
said,
lies.
I have a friend out in Katy. Looking at her Airbnb reservation, the friend out in Katy was just the last person that hosted them on Airbnb.
Which was the Uber driver.
It
was a mess. Needless to say, that was the last time.
It was
and then
scary.
she tried to leave. So then when we went into the room, we found a alarm clock that was dismantled. It was like an old school clock. It was dismantled. So the little brother had dismantled the clock and some pins that were on the desk. He had taken all that stuff apart. And then she tried to leave an iPad there, and I went to go look at the room afterwards, and I saw the iPad, and I was like, she trying to come back. Let me get this. I went and waved him down like, hey, don't forget this.
Oh, look, and right when they were getting ready to leave, the little brother was naked. He kept rubbing his penis on our furniture.
He kept running out of the room naked with no clothes on while we were I'm trying to kick her out, and he keeps running out of the room naked, and she go, oh, I'm sorry, and she'd usher him back into the room.
And he was rubbing it. So we got
rolled around on. He didn't.
We got
rub it,
leather
Kevin.
furniture in the den. He rubbing his Johnson on the furniture.
He did not do that, y'all.
Okay,
that's too much. He did lay and roll around on the furniture with his naked body. You can only imagine how weird all of this was.
With a brand new baby.
But that was the last time we were like, okay, that's over.
That's the last.
I think we let the travel nurse come back a couple of times.
We did, because she was a regular guest.
She was a regular guest.
Yeah, but everybody else, we stopped it at that point.
So
at our house.
It was a good idea in theory. We just aren't built for. We aren't built for it. So I think we'll stick to real estate. And let everybody else handle that Airbnb.
So we're going to build
business.
new homes, and we're going to run this realtor team, and that's all we got.
That's about it.
That's the real estate part of the marriage of real estate now, because we've done it all.
Yeah.
But what we stuck with is this. So.
True. So thanks for listening to our Airbnb stories.
We hope it was enjoyable.
Look, and for those of you that are thinking about Airbnb, I mean, there's plenty of resources out there. Give it a go.